Hello, what's up, everybody? Nick back here with another episode of Rick and Morty Isn't Just a Cartoon. Now, last week, we kind of broke down the Vat of Acid episode, and talked about accountability and ego and how Rick's pride often destroyed those who were closest to him. And so this week, we're actually going to be taking a step into one of the most complex character kind of arcs, character studies in the entire series, the ABCs of Beth. Now, on the surface, it's a bizarre story about a fantasy world and childhood imagination. But underneath, it's about identity, how how our upbringings shape us, and the fear of becoming the very person that we're trying to escape from. And so, if you need a little bit of a refresher, if you may have not seen it or just need to catch up on what the episode was about, it starts with Rick revealing that he once built an entire fantasy world, Froopyland. Now, for Beth, it's for her to play with and play in, excuse me, when she was a child, a place designed to keep her safe from the dangerous things that she imagined. But now, as an adult, she learned that her friend Tommy, that would go with her to Fruppyland as a child, never came back from Fruppyland. And so she asked Rick to help him find her. Meanwhile, Jerry reconnects with Kiara, an alien rebound, reminding us that both Beth's parents, are running from emotional accountability in their own ways. And so I think that the really big moment in this episode, or the most powerful, I would say, is that when Rick offers Beth a choice: stay with her family or let him clone her so that she can live a new life without consequences. He tells her, you can be whoever you want or no one at all. The scene is quiet, but it carries an enormous weight with it. It's not just about freedom, it's about escape, really. Beth doesn't give an answer. By the next episode, we're left wondering whether the Beth we see is the real one or if it was the clone that Rick was talking about. That ambiguity, it forces us to think about how much of us, I don't know, the ambiguity forces us, it forces us to think how much of who we are comes from choice and how much comes from the people who made us. A very bigger connection I can make with that is that it digs into generational cycle behavior, how traits, habits, and emotional patterns are passed down like genetics. Rick raised Beth to value intelligence over empathy, really, adventure over connection, and self interest over compassion. And so now as an adult, she sees those same flaws in herself. The ABCs of Beth, it mirrors real world struggles with identity and inherited behavior. Many of us spend years not trying to become our parents, honestly, only to realize their influence runs deeper than we had originally thought. The episode asks a haunting question: if we're shaped by someone broken, can we ever truly become whole? And I think that's really what kind of stuck with me while viewing this episode again, was that it made me think about the parts of ourselves that we inherit, not just the good, but the things we try to hide. I remember realizing one day that I had a reaction uh, to something, a tone, a voice that sounded exactly like a parent, that I swore I would never excuse me, imitate. It was unsettling to me, honestly. Watching Beth wrestle with that, her own reflection, literal and emotional, reminded me that breaking cycles isn't easy. It takes awareness, it takes forgiveness and honesty. Beth's conflict is painful because it's so human. She wants to be her own person, but she's terrified she might already be too late and already be like her father. And so, yeah, the ABCs of Beth, it's one of Rick and Morty's more underrated episodes because it trades laughs for self-reflection. It's not about sci-fi gadgets or, adventures. It's about identity, accountability, and the legacy of our parents. Um, Sometimes facing who we are means admitting where we came from. And so, a little bit of a preview for next episode. I will be back next week for the final episode in this series, where I will be diving into the very famous Pickle Rick episode, one of the most talked about and misunderstood episodes of Rick and Morty. But we'll explore, how the humor and absurdity are used to hide emotional repression almost, and what this episode really reveals about the pain that comes with avoiding vulnerability. It's one of the best examples of how the show kind of mixes chaos with honesty, and I can't wait to close out the series with it. So anyway, yeah, I hope y'all have a blessed one. Peace out.